If you are a community builder, community manager, or owner, and you see that in your community, you just see the same questions, the same conversations, discussions, posts, guides, whatever it may be arising, then this video is definitely going to be of service to you. And before I start this, I just want to preface this by crediting Movement Gems free. And this is where this rule, or rather strong recommendation, was inspired by. So as you see in their onboarding post, rule number 4, search before you ask. We have already spoken about a lot of incredible topics here within the context of the community. If you see your topic in a previous post after searching, it's better to comment than make a new post about it. This will help a future user who searches for the same topic have everything all in one place, and that's where the inspiration for this video comes from. As far as implementation goes, what you're going to want to do is, in the capacity as a community builder and or manager, is to make a call to action, a CTA for your members to actually commit to with regards to this feature. So in your onboarding and or strong recommendations posts, make a call to action to commit to this feature. Now, I mentioned onboarding and strong recommendations because this is less of a rule and more of a strong recommendation in terms of how your members should interact with your community space. If you want to make it a rule, then by all means, but I don't think that this should be a mandatory rule per se, but as a community builder and or manager yourself, I'll leave that up to your judgment. Now we're actually going to see how Skool's search feature actually works, and in order to do so, you need a little brief lesson in truncated words, which I'll explain what that is in just a moment, and then I'll just give you a tutorial at the same time so that you understand this completely. As you can see here at the top of the Skool.com feed, you have a search bar, and of course you must be familiar with the search bar. Google has it, but Skool's search bar feature is different. Skool's search bar feature is more specific. It's looking for the exact word or words, which makes it very difficult to use if you're writing in a long sequence. So where I've seen success in Skool.com search bar feature is if you look up a single word. And that's why we need to learn what a truncated word is. And this particular Movement Gems community, for context, is an exercise related community. So we'll be looking up something exercise related. But let's say you want to look up something exercise related. Let's say you're a complete beginner and you want some tips starting off as a beginner. So instead of just writing how to start as a beginner, which would be ultra specific and likely not come up with much, let's see what happens if we write how to get started as a beginner. We look that up. As you see, there's 0 results for how to get started as a beginner in the community, only because it's specifically looking for posts, comments, anything within this community that actually features word for word, letter for letter, how to get started as a beginner. Now, if I were to just look up the word beginner, which is arguably the most important word in this search example, so if we look up beginner, and here's where truncated words matter. I could write beginners, but if I write beginner, I'll be looking up not only everything that features the word beginner, but everything that is included in beginners, right? Because the word beginner is included in the word beginners. So if you write the shortest possible version of the keyword that you're looking for, you'll likely come across way more. So if you look up beginner, boom, right off the bat, you see way more posts, and it's going to highlight the keyword that you looked up. And just as I predicted, as you can see here in the comments, the word beginners includes the word beginner, so you'll find the word beginners as well. And so you'll find a bunch of posts featuring beginners, beginner related topics in terms of exercise. And so you could do the same here. Instead of looking up, for example, tips, you find the shortest possible version of the word, the truncated version, boom, tip. So you look up tip, and then you'll find diet tips, recovery tips. So that's how you use Skool's feature. Now the question becomes, why would you want to use this? Now you want to use this because of what this guy mentioned in his onboarding post, the community builder here himself, I believe his name is Andrew. He mentioned in rule number 4 that this is to combat redundant posts. If your community is exploding in numbers, and let's just look at Movement Gems, for example, 12.5 thousand members. That's insane, right? That's a ton of members. Now, what's going to happen with that is there's going to be a ton of overlap, because at the end of the day, and if we look at the context of this particular community, which is an exercise related one, there's only so many topics that exercise covers. And you could see that here with the categories. So, exercise related conversations, nutrition, sleep, supplements, recovery, these kinds of things. There is a core sort of assembly of topics that are going to be covered. And as a result, you're going to have 12.5 thousand members potentially and most likely repeating the same points, having the same discussions, and what have you. So, in an effort to combat that redundancy, he has proposed this rule number 4 to combat it, which is to simply use the search bar before you ask. So it's a very simple thing to ask of members or to recommend of members. And as he says, we've already spoken about a lot of incredible topics here. So if you see your topic in a previous post after searching, there is really no need to actually make that post yourself. So I think if you're a community builder and or manager operating a large and growing community, and you see a lot of redundant posts, then by all means, this is an excellent rule and or strong recommendation to propose to your community members.